Hey, this is JP with Central Idaho Mountain Weather. It's April 27th, 2026. Looking at the satellite reel, which is a little hard to see anything going on today. It's a little disorganized out there. You can barely make out that low in Canada in the upper right, and we're in this big trough behind it, bringing in that continued cooler weather. Looking at the mid-level water vapor map, you can pick up a little bit more. You can see that um, the low up here, oh, the low up here, and then a little bit of showery activity that's going to pick up this afternoon, and lots of dry moisture below us. So this afternoon we're going to have pop-up showers. They're not going to be, doesn't look like they're going to get significant enough to produce any thunderstorms. That's going to be more to the north of us, but you might see a little bit of rain in the valley floor and snow up in the mountains. And that's going to be the same tomorrow. More pop-up showers as that daytime heat picks up. Tomorrow actually looks like it might be a little bit more showery activity. Um, Although it's not showing that on the NWS maps. Looks like not really too much, more so to the east of us in the white clouds, the white knobs and the Lost River Range, where you would see we're not just picking up about a trace of an inch of moisture, not really too much out of that. Mostly going to be following, I don't know why it's that little kind of hot spot there in the White Knobs, and then also in the Lost River and Lemhi ranges will be picking up snow through the week. Looking at temperatures this morning, it's another cool morning. It is going to get progressively warmer, especially as that high pressure moves in Wednesday, Thursday. By the weekend, we're going to be in the low 70s, so sitting above about 15 to 20 degrees above normal. And we're just going to have a mix of sun and clouds through the beginning of the week before that high pressure builds. Taking a look at the Euro model for 500 millibar charts, you can see that area low pressure up in Canada starts to get pushed out finally by Tuesday, and then that the trough is going to actually dissipate as well, and we have a little bit of a ridge forming for Thursday, Friday. And then once we get into Saturday time frame, we have some disagreement in the models. You could see this area low pressure sneaks down the coastline and sets up as this closed low. So that could send in some moisture our way. And if we looked at the GFS, I'm going to fast forward this a little bit to that same time frame, you could see that low is more of just a little bit of a trough. It doesn't really form until a little later and just kind of parks itself right on the coastline, so not as far out. So we'll see what happens with those two models as we get closer to the weekends. This is that hot spot of snow in the White Knobs, picking up upwards of 7 inches by Thursday with those afternoon showers, and about the same in the Lost River Range as we keep getting these small little spring systems behind that bigger area low pressure that's been parked to our east for the last 4 or 5 days. Not too much moisture with these. You can see just trace amounts of precip, more so to our southeast, and doesn't really change until maybe Sunday. It seems like there might be some storms that come in. Again, that's all going to depend on how those models play out between the GFS and the Euro. If we take a bigger view of what the temperatures and precip are going to do over the next month, it does look like it's going to be above normal temperatures, and kind of near normal for the first couple of weeks with precip, and then trending towards above normal for precip. So hopefully that means it's going to be a wet spring. We definitely need the moisture out there.